seriously, great work, everyone.
Cheers to that. It's good to finally relax after that push.
I never believed one careless moment could destroy an entire life. I used to think consequences were just stories people told themselves to feel important. That illusion shattered the night I kissed someone who wasn't my husband. I learned just how quietly revenge can grow before it consumes everything. My marriage to Erin had never been chaotic. We were calm, stable, predictable, maybe too predictable. We had routines instead of surprises, conversations instead of sparks. I told myself that was just what adulthood looked like. I didn't realize how much I missed being desired until someone else made me feel seen again. The night it happened was at a friend's engagement party. Drinks were flowing and the music was loud enough to blur judgment. Erin couldn't come right away because of work, so I arrived alone, already feeling restless. That's when I started talking to Mark. He was charming, attentive, and listened like every word mattered. It was intoxicating after years of feeling invisible in my own marriage. I didn't plan the kiss. 1 second we were laughing, the next his lips were on mine. It was brief, meaningless, or so I thought. I pulled away immediately, my heart racing as guilt crashed down on me. I told myself it was just a mistake, something I would forget. I decided not to tell Erin. Honesty, I thought, would only cause pain. What I didn't know was that someone else had seen us. When Erin arrived later that night, everything felt normal. Too normal. He kissed my forehead and smiled. If he suspected anything, he didn't show it. I was foolishly relieved, believing the moment had passed without consequence. Over the next few weeks, something in him changed. It wasn't anger or suspicion. It was distance. He became quieter, more observant. The knot of fear in my stomach tightened every day. Then came the unraveling. One evening, Erin sat me down at the kitchen table. His voice was calm, almost gentle, as he told me he knew about the kiss. He didn't shout, he just asked one question: why? I cried. I apologized. I called it meaningless, stupid, a moment of weakness. I begged him not to destroy our marriage over something that didn't mean anything. He listened, nodded, and said he understood. That's when I thought we might survive. What I didn't understand was that Erin wasn't the kind of man who exploded. He was the kind who planned. He became incredibly attentive, almost romantic, suggesting date nights and trips. I felt hopeful, believing forgiveness had come faster than expected. Meanwhile, quietly, he was dismantling everything. He spoke to a lawyer. He gathered financial records. He documented conversations. He didn't rush. He waited. Then one morning I came home to an empty house. No note, no message. Just silence. My phone buzzed with a text asking me to check my email. What I found felt like a controlled detonation: divorce papers. Screenshots, statements, not just about the kiss, but about how trust had been broken beyond repair. He had already informed our families, our friends, even my parents. The narrative was factual, unemotional, and devastating. I tried to contact him, but he had blocked me everywhere. I went from being his wife to being a legal process. When we finally saw each other in a lawyer's office, he looked calm, like a man who had already grieved and moved on. I realized his revenge wasn't about humiliation, it was about erasure. He removed me from his life with surgical precision, sold the house, closed joint accounts, changed jobs, moved cities. The hardest part wasn't losing the marriage. It was realizing how deeply I had underestimated him. I thought pain made people loud. I learned that for some, it makes them methodical. Friends stopped calling. Sympathy was limited. It was just a kiss sounded hollow when spoken aloud. Months passed. I rebuilt slowly, painfully. Therapy forced me to confront the truth. That kiss wasn't meaningless. It was a choice where I chose validation over commitment. I ran into Erin once, unexpectedly, in a grocery store. He looked different, lighter. He nodded politely, like you would to a stranger. There was no bitterness in his eyes, just closure. That hurt more than anger ever could. His revenge wasn't cruel. It was complete. I learned that forgiveness isn't owed. And consequences don't need to be loud to be permanent. Some mistakes don't explode. They wait, and when they finally do, they leave nothing untouched. Thank you for listening.